My name is Phyllis Galisath, and I run several nonprofits in Rockford for the LGBTQIA community. So my story is about myself growing up and then becoming a mom and losing my son to suicide. Growing up, I struggled with anxiety and depression, but was never really diagnosed as a child. I grew up in a home where there were other children that were mentally ill, but they were psychotic. And I think that because my mental illness was different than theirs, I didn't want to compare myself to them, and I didn't want to identify as having a mental illness because of the stigma, especially with psychotic disorders. I had 3 siblings that were schizophrenic, and growing up in that environment, psychotic disorders are very different than depression and anxiety on the surface. And I think that environment just really made me feel ashamed and not wanting to talk about my mental illness and not wanting to just really seek help or just really share it with anybody. As I got older, I was a mom, and I had my son Liam, and he then started to struggle with depression and anxiety. About around 6th grade, he started struggling, and shortly after his 18th birthday, he died by suicide. He was only ever diagnosed with anxiety and depression. After Liam's passing, I now struggle with PTSD on top of my anxiety and depression. I have a lot of trauma that I'm working through because of his death. And now I am just more open about what I'm going through. I find that if I share honestly that I'm having a bad day or that something is triggering, or if I just am more honest about what's going on, that I'm met with grace with a lot of people and that I'm supported. And it's just a lot easier to be open and honest about it rather than trying to hide it or cover it up or, make up excuses for things. Just say it's a bad day. I'm having a hard time today. I'm missing Liam a lot today, or I'm feeling really triggered today, or whatever it is. Just being honest with myself and the people around me that I'm struggling. And that, I think, is a huge thing for me to be able to get through each day. When I think about the future and what I hope for myself and my mental health is that I can find ways to cope with the loss of Liam and the daily struggles that I face with mental health. Continuing with therapy is always good. I've gotten a lot of help and comfort from EMDR therapy and specific therapy for trauma. I think that when you've had trauma in your life, it can deeply affect your brain and then in turn can affect your body. And we have a lot of health issues that can be linked to trauma and mental health problems. So I think it's really becoming healthy overall. Holistically, my mind and body, and focusing on taking care of myself and getting myself to a place where I'm functioning at a level that I'm comfortable with. My son was transgender, so for me, the LGBTQ community is very close to my heart, so I do a lot of advocacy work in that community. We see a lot of high suicide rates with trans people and a lot of mental health struggles within the LGBTQI community. And they can always reach out to one of our organizations, the Liam Foundation or PFLAG, for support. And there's all kinds of organizations, even locally, that are here to support people. And just don't be afraid to tell somebody how you're feeling or share your story with someone else, because even though it might seem like it's a sad story or something that you don't want to bring somebody down, you can inspire other people by sharing what you've been through, and they can see that, if you've been through something hard, that, they can make it too, and that they're not the only one. And it just makes you feel like you're less alone. And I think that's important.